Sorry for that. Thank you, David. Thank you. Welcome back to. Oh, I have to accept the recording. I almost left the meeting again. I don't know why I keep doing that. I'm tempted to leave the meeting as soon as you start recording our meetings. Anyways, good morning. Welcome back to Boston Urban Forest Friends. Today is Friday, May 19th. Thank you to those of you who are returning. Thank you to anyone new who may be joining us for the first time. I'm Jarrell Ferguson. I'm the Community Outreach Manager at Speak for the Trees. I'm joined by some of my colleagues here today. Thank you for your positive feedback from the April meeting. Keep those surveys coming. The input from the surveys is greatly appreciated. And as I always say, it helps guide and lead the direction of our BUF meetings and the things that we are doing with you all and in the community and where we're going in the future. So keep it that way. It's a nice spring day outside. I can see out my window here. And we have some rain in store for the weekend. I don't know if it's going to ruin anybody's plans, but I was planning on going fishing this weekend. So my fishing goals are going to be canceled because of the rain. I know the trees may love all the rain and everything, and they need the rain, but for some of us who do a lot of outdoor activities, we're not going to get to do them this weekend. So anyways, let's move on to...
Think positive thoughts for my daughter who's turning 16 tomorrow and has a ticket to go see Taylor Swift. And it would be heartbreaking for her if that was heavy downpours.
It's outside?
It's at Gillette.
It's at Gillette.
Wow.
You know the most famous Taylor Swift concert is of her singing through a downpour.
Melissa, I had no idea you were a Swiftie.
I'm not a Swiftie, but I happen to know this because it's been sort of all over the news with the forecast of rain. But that is the most watched video of Taylor Swift. So maybe she will up her game in this rainstorm, but I think you can be...
We might have to find that video and share it sometime before we get off our meeting today, because that's pretty cool.
I'm sorry, but it looks that well.
But she performs beautifully.
Oh, thanks, Melissa. Appreciate that. All right, David, would you mind sharing our norms, please?
Yes. Let me get back to that. I just got carried away.
No problem. All right. Okay. Well, actually, look at that. If everyone could take a look at that picture. Go back, David. I'm sorry. I don't know if anyone was able to attend. I'm sure many of you were at the Boston Nature Center last week, where Mayor Wu was there, and they opened up the microforest at the Boston Nature Center. And there's our beloved Erica Holm right there with Mayor Wu planting the first tree. It was an amazing event. The weather was beautiful. David, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about it, or Todd, who was there. It was a great day and a great ceremony. Okay. We'll move on.
We'll have more to share about it later, I think, or
okay.
what it was about. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, David. All right. So our meeting norms. Thank you. Please keep your microphones on mute if you're not speaking. Raise your hands for questions, and we've already started the recording. So thank you all for staying on. And now we're going to move on to our community updates. Please raise your hand. Oh, sorry. The agenda. Welcome back, community updates. Speak for the Trees. We're going to have some updates for you a little later in the meeting. The BUF survey link will be posted at the end, and there's our date for our next meeting on June 9th. All right, now we'll move into the community updates. And who would like to go first? Please raise your hands. All right, Lisa, you're up first. Good morning. You're on mute.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Really great to see you all. And it was a beautiful event last Friday at the Nature Center. It was an honor to be there, and it was just wonderful to hear that Speak for the Trees and Mass Audubon will be part of this tree alliance. And finally, something about protecting trees on private property. Yay. Okay, so I just have a quick update about the Crane Ledge Woods campaign, and I'm going to drop the first of two things in the chat. We had another victory. The BPDA just released a second disapproval of the 990 American Legion development proposal, and again, unprecedented. And I dropped in the chat a little bit of information, and if you can read the supplemental adequacy determination, which is the second disapproval, at this link. And the developer still has the opportunity to significantly revise the plan and resubmit, but has not exhibited willingness to do that so far. So that's pretty exciting. I just also saw an article by Universal Hub online, which it distills the significant pieces of the second disapproval document. So that's one thing. And then here, I'm gonna paste the other. Let's see, sorry. I didn't want to post them together. Okay, so another deadline coming up. The city's open space plan draft for the next 7 years. It's open space plan for the city of Boston from 2023 to 2029. It's already very overdue. And perhaps that is why the city is really moving speedily to finalize it. However, those of us in the Crane Ledge Woods Coalition feel that they are not doing a sufficient public process. A request was put in to for the Environment and Parks Department to hold a community meeting. And we were told that they were not going to do that. So even though they did put out a park survey a couple months ago, that survey, for those of you who saw it and submitted, was all about use of parks. There was nothing in there about the environmental benefits of parks, and almost no place to write anything in about it. And then, but here's our opportunity. The public comment period closes May 21st, which, as you know, is in a couple days. So I put in the chat the link to download the plan and submit comments. As of now, the draft plan does not yet include Crane Ledge Woods, omits it from the mapping that they include as even an unprotected private green space, which is outrageous. And Crane Ledge Woods was mentioned in the previous two 7-year open space plans. And okay, so then the rest of the what I dropped in the chat is about like, please send comment letters in advocating for Crane Ledge Woods inclusion, but also all the other parcels, all the other woodlands that many of us are wanting to be protected for climate resilience and equity. That's it. If anyone has any questions or comments, let me know, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Always appreciate your updates. And Sarah, good morning.
Good morning. I'll be sort of a counterpoint to Lisa's upbeat report, or somewhat upbeat report. The Shattuck Hospital site, which many of you know is about 13 acres of public land, state controlled, formerly part of Franklin Park. And it's so frustrating, regardless of what people want to see happen there, whether it's return to Parkland or Recovery Campus or something in between. The state has had one proposal since August, and they won't tell anyone what's in it. And word has it that it's something massive. Like they talked about 75 to 100 units during the planning, but the proposal we've heard is for 400 units of the kind of housing that's hugely important, but maybe not the best to put too much in one place, especially when certain neighborhoods in Boston seem to be overrepresented in hosting these things. So I look at things like that microforest saying, wow, there's a 7-acre Heat Island parking lot right across the street. Maybe, I don't know if they consider doing things like that, but there are a lot of people who would love to see something green, like significantly green in that location. And we're in the dark. So that's my update. And I'll underscore Lisa saying, please take a look at the open space plan. In terms of acquisition, the city's losing ground in acres per 1,000. I might have said this before. I know I said it somewhere. Last plan, it was 7.6 acres per 1,000. Now it's something like 7.1 just since the last plan. So we need to intentionally stop that trend, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Much appreciated. Jack, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry to use my phone. I'm out in the field trying to water some trees and do some extra field work today.
Thank you.
But just wanted to provide a few updates about some work the Conservancy is doing. We planted a handful of trees in the Victory Gardens. There also, we worked with the city, and 9 trees have gone in the Justine Mealiff Park greater area, kind of in phase 1 of the Muddy River. And one other area that I want to bring to everyone's attention that I've been talking with Sarah a lot about. So shout out Sarah, who's always doing so much, especially when things are difficult. But the area that connects Franklin Park to the Arnold Arboretum, that like Casey Arborway, had many hundreds of trees that have been put in over the past 5 or so years. A lot of them didn't get much water, didn't have great establishment, and are in need of replacement. But the DCR has mobilized a handful of tens of thousands of dollars to replant a bunch of those trees. So I'm working with them to try to get new ones in that area. And I bring it up here because I think some collaboration around trying to water those trees effectively will be really valuable for their success. And I know that Speak for the Trees has some new watering truck staff and capacity. So that's super exciting. And I know that the Urban Wilds program has some similar developments in the works. So just want to say that I appreciate everyone here, and I'm excited to work together on seeing what we can do to help those trees establish, because I've been bracing for the drought some of my time. But there's just a few little things going on. There's a bunch more, but nice to see everyone here.
And Jack, I want to say I saw Kate England yesterday. For those of you who don't know who she is, she's the director of green infrastructure for the city. And she says that they're hoping to get some capacity around watering trucks. And Todd, you might have an update on that as well. But I know that they've been talking to folks over in budgeting to be like, this is equipment we need.
Thank you, Jack. Much appreciated. Claire, you have another thing. I mean, I hate Claire. Sorry. Claire, you're up next. Oh, where'd you go? There you go.
This isn't really my suite of issues, but I'm aware that now is the time to comment on the DCR budget. And I know probably there's other people here who are following this a little more closely than I am, like Sarah and others. And I also just wanted to point out to Todd, since I know you're doing a great job of orienting yourself to this very confusing and weirdly laid out city that you now live in, that the location that Jack was talking about is right next to the yard in Franklin Park that the Parks Department uses for various purposes. So it's kind of right along there, that stretch. So Sarah, am I correct? Is there a compelling reason to contact your representative and senator and ask for increased funding for the DCR? I think they came in lower. The governor came in lower than the House, or am I wrong?
The governor came in high. The House, I think, was a little lower, but right now it's in the Senate, and there are 2 amendments sponsored by thank you for bringing this up, sponsored by Senator Rush and Roush, the similar names, Becca Rush and Mike Rush. I'll put the numbers in the chat, and if they're looking for co-sponsors to bring it back up to match the governor's amount.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire and Sarah. Anyone else have any hands raised? Okay, it doesn't look like it, so we'll move on. David, you're up.
I have an announcement that's not on the agenda, Jarrell, so I'm going to start there.
Okay.
For the past couple of months, Alana Feaster, who some of you know and is sometimes at these meetings, who's been instrumental in creating yet another advocacy group called Environmental Health is Wealth. We've been meeting to talk about the proposed tree ordinance that Councilor Arroyo introduced. Celeste is part of that group, Nancy is part of that group. And last week we met with Councilor Arroyo? There was a virtual meeting with Councilor Arroyo that was about an hour long, I would say. Like, it was an hour and a half, but he came half an hour late. So I think we had about an hour of his undivided attention. And representative from the city was there as well, Kat Eschel, who spoke a little bit, but mainly it was a conversation between residents, advocates, and the council. And I think there's continued impetus to talk further with the councilor, but also to engage more deeply with administration and the environment department, whether that be Kat Eschel, whether it be Reverend Mariama White-Hammond, whether that be you, Todd, to really have a more in-depth analysis of what we think is needed to strengthen the ordinance. So we are trying to set up a meeting next Wednesday evening again for advocates to come together. I can't remember if I have to go back and look if we've set a exact date and time yet, but I believe Frank was available on Wednesday. Frank and Alana were both available only on Wednesday. So we're aiming for next Wednesday, the 24th, in our offices in Dorchester. Hopefully by the end of the day, as a reminder to myself, we'll send out an update on that. And this is a chance for us to go not line by line, but more like section by section on the ordinance, so we all understand what exactly it is that it says and where we can all be on the same page on what we advocate for. So stay tuned. And for those of you who aren't aware, it seems like, and I don't see any reason why this is going to change, it seems like the process for the ordinance is bifurcated, which means that the city will first be looking at an ordinance for trees on public land. And then we'll be moving in the next couple of months to look at an ordinance that for trees on private land. Todd, I don't know, in your capacity, do you have anything to add to that? Or folks who were at the meeting last week with Arroyo, anything to add to that?
No, I don't have anything in particular to add. Again, ultimately, it's Arroyo's, proposal that he's putting before council for a vote. So
that's right.
We can all offer him input, but ultimately it's his version that's going to be voted on.
That's right. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. We do have an update from Erica Holm, who could not join us today. That update will be given to us by our very own David Meshulam.
Let me pull up the slide, Jarrell. Hold on.
Thank you, David.
Just to organize my my screens for a minute, because Erica had some specific things that she wanted to share.
Yeah, Erica's planting trees in East Boston right now.
Oh, she is with
Yeah,
Bill?
she is. I'm not sure if it's with Bill, but I would assume it will be maybe with Bill. Claire, do you have any insight on that?
I'm pretty sure all tree planting in East Boston goes through Bill, so that would be my assumption. I haven't heard anything about this particular planting. That guy has so many irons in the fire and moves so quickly that it's kind of hard to keep up sometimes.
Okay, thank you.
So before I get to the update from Erica, Jarrell, do you want to just put in a plug for this giveaway, or is that coming later?
Yeah, this will be part of my updates after we're done.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is from Erica, and Jarrell's gonna drop some links in the chat, I believe, but pertaining to last week's event at the Boston Nature Center, the mayor and her administration announced the Mass Audubon receiving a 3-year grant to not only plant trees on private yards, to develop a program to plant trees on private land, but also to create what they're calling an alliance based on Montreal's Alliance. So a group of, they're going to convene nonprofits and other community-based organizations in thinking about and implementing yard tree plantings and other types of other types of education work for trees in the city of Boston. We are part of that grant, we being Speak for the Trees. You will be hearing, but the lead on this is Mass Audubon. So you'll be hearing a lot more from Erica and her team in the coming weeks and months about when the first meeting will be, the convening. There are going to be certain expectations around drawing up sort of, I don't know if they're calling them bylaws, but whatever the sort of memorandum will be between the groups, creating a formal structure around the alliance. And I wish Erica were here to give us a better sense of timescale of when that's all being rolled out. Also, there an interest form and an email address if you're interested in engaging and learning more. And then also a couple of links about the coverage that this has received in the media. It's really heartening to see this administration take the lead on providing not only financial resources, but also new staffing like Todd and the 3 new arborists on staff to really commit to thinking about how for the next, investing in a forest is not about just planting trees. I think we all know that. It's about caring for the trees. It's about educating people. And there's a commitment here to see this done successfully, I think in a time that, in a way that the city has never really done, given enough resources and attention to it. So I stay tuned on how you can engage on yet another opportunity to promote urban tree canopy in the city. Claire, am I missing something?
No,
okay, sorry, you went on mute. You unmuted, so I wanted to make sure.
Oh, sounds good, David. I don't think you missed anything. I did put information in the link for anyone who would like to see more information about that and to contact Erica at the Boston Tree Alliance at massaudubon.org. And I put a couple of links in there for some media coverage about this. All right, next slide. So we do have a couple of updates from Speak for the Trees. I wanted to let everyone know that actually, did we go back 2 slides? So we can go back to we do have a upcoming tree giveaway on Saturday, June 3rd. We just completed our second tree giveaway last week at the West Cottage Street Farm, or the Food Project Farm in Dorchester last weekend, and we gave away all of our trees. Our next tree giveaway is at the Boston Nature Center So we hope that you can, share it out, let your friends know, your tree loving friends know who have space to plant trees. I hope that anyone that's here at our meeting today can come by to get a tree, or even just come by to say hello. We haven't met, I know that I haven't met many of you in real life. I just met Lisa Beatman last week, and it was really cool to meet her in person, Indira and a couple other people. So, if you don't want a tree, just come on out to the Boston Nature Center. They will also be having some other events going on that day. So please feel free to show up on June 3rd. We'll be there from 10 until 2 o'clock. All right. Next slide, David.
Hold on, Jarrell. I'm just entering the event into the chat window.
Oh, okay. Thank
So
you, sir.
you can read more about the event and register for your tree there.
Speaking of registration, we don't have a registration yet for our Buff Symposium, but we are working on that. But please save the date. Saturday, June 24th, we will be at the Arnold Arboretum at the Weld Hill Research Building in Boston, and it's an amazing building. If you have not been there, you will do not want to miss coming to our symposium. We have a lot lined up. We have some amazing speakers who will be there. We're designing a panel for questions and answers and conversation, and that Saturday, June 24th. So once we have our registration all set up, everyone on the Buff email list will get this invitation first. So just please save the date, Saturday, June 24th from 10 to 2 p.m. There will be a virtual option for those who do not want to or who can't make it in person. And we will have all that information in the coming weeks, if not sooner.
And just a shout out, there will be lunch too, right, Jarrell?
Oh, yes. Lunch is being provided by Fresh Food Generation. They are an awesome catering business located in Dorchester who's provided food and worked with us for many of our events. And they've become a very close working partner of ours and supporter. And their food is amazing. So come out for the food as well as the symposium.
Or maybe come out for the food, and then if you want to stay for the symposium.
Yeah, that works too. That works too.
You're tired of hearing our voices. There's also, correct me if I'm wrong, Jarrell, if you're interested in tabling, we will have opportunities to set up a table, and during lunch hour, people can walk around and learn about your organization, your work. So there'll be, I believe we have 2 separate forms going out in the coming days. One will be for tabling and one will be for registration, and they're not mutually exclusive. You can, of course, sign up for both.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. I think there's some other surprises, but I'm not going to talk about them yet because they're surprises. All right. So
for whom? Do I know about them?
No, not quite. And you work here. You don't know them yet. You will in the coming days, David. You will.
All right. I look forward to it.
All right. Claire, no, go back. Well, you can leave it. Claire, do you have an update for us to share?
I was just going to mention that in addition to looking forward to partnering with the Alliance, Speak for the Trees is rolling out our own yard tree program, which will offer professionally installed free trees with a small option of choices to Boston residents in low canopy neighborhoods. So that information is on our website, and we are digging into the logistics and figuring out how to really make it all happen and have the trees be happy throughout their journey to your yard. Most of the rollout is going to be in the fall because we really do have to dig into the logistics, as I said, but it's a very exciting program. And I hope that you will help spread the word about the opportunity to get a free tree installed in your yard. We don't currently have the ability to provide funds for any needed site prep. So if you have a dead tree you're looking to replace, we'd have to make sure that you had done the necessary work for us to be able to plant a new tree, and it's near that spot. So that's my update.
Thank you very much, Claire. Much appreciated. And I can't wait till that program rolls out. All right. Does anyone have any other more updates or comments or questions? As we can move into an open discussion, or if there's any information updates from Todd or any, I don't know if anyone wanted to add anything extra. No pressure. Okay. It's a very quiet group today. Anita, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. It was great to see a couple of you guys at the briefing at the State House on May 4 for
Right, yes.
promoting the municipal reforestation bill put out by Senator Cream, Representatives Armini and Steve Owens. So it was really great to meet you in person. I want to mention that Gas Transition Allies, where I do most of my volunteer work. Oh, by the way, I'm from Watertown, Trees for Watertown, worked with David years ago on Teens for Trees. Gas Transition Allies began as Gas Leaks Allies, and we're at the we're at the point of getting a very good quality gas sniffer. When people are planting trees, they want to be sure that there's no tree in that pit, that no gas in the pit that they're considering putting the tree into. But almost no city has the good technology for testing it out. So we're about to get our own gas sniffer to make available to municipalities for various reasons. And we're kind of beginning to set up gas leak safaris where where people can determine gas leaks, especially significant environmental impact gas leaks. And these are the ones that just go, out into the ground and suffocate trees at their roots, and the grass and all the other plants too, or make it difficult for them to thrive. So safaris are being set up because a lot of cities are sick and tired of gas companies ignoring the SEI, significant environmental impact leaks, ignoring them, and trees dying, and gas companies don't have to replace the trees. So there's a bit of a slow revolt happening in cities. And we're hoping that with this gas meter and with the growing number of gas leaks safaris that will be happening, that we'll get some more tree protection at a very basic level that has been ignored by gas companies for a long time. So just wanted to mention that gas meter coming up.
So Anita, I don't know if you know, but we on staff have a gas meter, and we're happy to collaborate on how we might support. I love it, the safari idea.
Yeah. Do you have the $1,000 gas meter?
It's the one Bob Ackley recommended.
Excellent. Great.
For those of you who don't know who Bob Ackley is, he is probably the world's foremost expert on gas leaks and happens to live in the Boston region. So
yeah, Anita?
Yes, Claire.
A few years ago, when I was a volunteer with the Gas Leaks Allies, I took Councillor Ed Flynn on a safari with Jackie Royce and Bob Ackley. And we looked at some trees outside of the Mel King School in the South End, which is the school for, it basically serves a high needs population, K through 12. And there were several dead trees in tree pits. And we know that Dartmouth hasn't had its gas main replaced yet. And there was gas in the tree wells. And a couple of weeks later, the city, the contractor who had this on their list for a year or whatever, came and replaced those trees, and now they're dying.
Yeah.
And so I would like to sign up as a constituent of Ed Flynn to do a repeat gas safari and see if that can tell the story a little bit more specifically. So sign me up.
Okay, we don't have a sign up sheet yet, but yeah, I think this needs to be coordinated. And Multi-Town Gas Leaks Initiative this is the kind of thing that is a next step, I think. Thank you so much, Claire.
Sarah?
If I can add a fun fact about Bob Ackley, he's been doing this a while, but before this, he used to work for one of the utilities, and he knows like what they used to do and how the standards have changed in a way that's very frustrating for people who care about vegetation. Like now it has to be a leak the size, a pretty massive size before they take it seriously. So yeah, glad to hear these updates.
Yeah, Sarah, he told me that back in the day, they used to use dead and dying vegetation as a way to locate gas leaks. So straight from the horse's mouth.
Claire, isn't it interesting how they used to use vegetation to tell if the tree was dying, when right now in those same tree pits that have gas leaks potentially, there's a lot of vegetation like weeds and stuff like that growing around those trees? Or am I wrong? Does that not necessarily mean that?
You know, the ones that I'm talking about revisiting are absent. There's no weeds there. So I think that as Anita said, it's kind of all vegetation gets impacted. But the other thing is that it can be, you know, that these leaks are from our pipes, which were many of them cast iron pipes sealed with jute and burlap 120 years ago in a place where we have a water table that moves up and down. And we actually like to keep the water table high to protect the pilings that all of our buildings are built on in the mud of the Back Bay and South End, which used to all be, you know, a tidal basin. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to dig into, but I'm so glad that you have advanced technology, Anita, and I can't wait to dig into that a little bit more. Because what Bob does with his, when he's like ramming, like opening up the hole for the sniffer to go in, that is something that, I don't know, I have a bad wrist and I don't think I could actually do that. So, because he uses a lot of force and the soil is very compacted. And so he really has to kind of bang away at it to get the sensor down into the depth that he's looking for. So,
well, two things. It sounds like you have the advanced technology that we're going to get. Nathan Phillips has recommended this. Bob Ackley recommended that. It's going to be the same technology. Yeah. And I wanted to just piggyback on what Sarah said. Bob Ackley said that that's how the gas employees who are sent out looking for gas leaks, that's how they were trained. Look for the dead trees and see if there are leaks near there. So it's just.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Maybe I didn't come across clearly, but that they used to use dead trees as a way to locate gas leaks.
Right. Yeah. But gas employees were trained.
That's the amazing for National Grid. They
they've known for so long.
Yeah.
All right. Well, David, you're off mute. Were you about to say something?
I was about to say, well.
Well, everybody, I think we've covered quite a bit today. And if no one has anything else to add, I will send you all off to enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rainy weekend. And well, actually, let's not hope that for Taylor Swift. David is I think he's a Swiftie. He's just not telling us that he is. But have a great weekend, you all, and we will see you at the next Buff meeting, which is June 9th, Friday. Please fill out the survey if you haven't. You can, please just let us know how you enjoyed this meeting today, and we will see you next month.
Thank you.
And if folks want to stay on, I will find that Taylor Swift video that Melissa suggested, and I'll turn off the recording. And you're